Hey, I also didn't realise until I sort of threw up last session's video and quickly was looking at things. When you arrived at the mountain last session, you never actually got to see the mountain. I don't think. I don't think I actually made this scene visible to you, did I? I was looking at it, but apparently you were not. Yeah. So last session we opened up with your group and Darius in particular being sort of ambushed and attacked by this owlbear, which you had ran into in the woods as you had been kind of pushing on deeper and deeper into the night and into the darkness, trying to reach this mountain before you rested. The owlbear actually a relatively comfortable combat, and you all managed to get through that. Okay, there were some wounds around, but nothing too sort of horrific or horrible. After sort of healing yourselves up from that, you then decided, even after that, to just keep pushing on still towards the mountain. Kasha sort of leading the way, quite adamant that you were going there before night fell. As you carried on in that direction, after another hour or so of travel, you found yourself surrounded by a pack of dire wolves and some smaller wolves who seemed to be sort of subservient to them. Darius quickly casting invisibility across the party to turn yourselves invisible, and then followed, which sort of led into a tense sort of exchange as these creatures, sort of somewhat aware that you were around and able to sort of pick up on your scent, were trying to sort of find you and unsure exactly where you were. And there were some attempts to kind of distract them and get them away before Kasha kind of ran out of patience, changing into the animal form of a bear and attacking the wolves. You got through the battle, however, it was pretty close, with Darius dropping unconscious and getting to the point with no hero points available. A roll of 2 or less on their recovery check would have seen their character die, and you rolled a 3, Shane. So about as close to our first character death in the campaign as possible, just avoiding it. You were able as a group to sort of defeat a few more of the direwolves, and the rest of them at that point were sort of wounded and sort of scared and sort of fled, and left you all to sort of get Darius back to his feet and again to heal yourselves up a bit. And again, despite the forest kind of feeling like it was actively working against you at this point and the darkness creeping in, you still wanted to sort of reach the forest, and you carried on that direction, eventually arriving at this large mountain, which had been marked on that map as the Green Mother's Tooth. And as you sort of stepped out of the sort of deeper part of the forest and looked up at the mountain, you were able to spot, just sort of flickering high up and up this sort of steep, sheer mountainside, what looked to be the sort of lights of it looked to be buildings or some kind of settlement sort of nestled into the edge of the mountain, some way up, which was where we left things last session. So as we pick up, it's just approaching 9:30 in the evening now. The sun has long set. We are deep into sort of night. You can see this settlement sort of nestled up and high above you on the mountainside. This is a very steep and quite sheer in places looking mountain. You, even as you sort of look around briefly, you can see some parts look traversable, other parts look, nigh on impossible to climb without some real effort or planning. You can see that settlement. You see no obvious immediate sort of route to it. It is high up there and clearly in quite a sort of safe, almost sort of fortified to some degree position. You have pressed on into the night, pushing through the forest, and you arrived at the mountain. What's the plan from here?
What's the time?
So just come up to 9:30 now.
We've had quite a long day. Yeah. feel like we should probably rest, but also I'm a little bit scared of getting caught overnight.
Are there these little lighted, I don't know what they look like, little fannies on the side of the...
Yeah, there are some sort of like there's a sort of not heavy, but there's like a low amount of mist sort of settling into around the forest. But you can see there's heavy undergrowth, but there are some sort of, you can see these sort of mushrooms that look to give off this sort of like bioluminescent sort of glow, not enough to sort of light the forest up, but they as it's got darker and darker and you sort of reach this area, you can see they sort of they stand out somewhat. In fact, actually, Darius, can I get a secret nature check from you? Oh, actually, rather than a secret nature check, because we should definitely make use of your law skills, let's get a secret herbalism check instead.
I know the herbs.
Nice. As you're all sort of gathered there and you're looking up, and you see the mountain, Darius, but you also can see some of these funguses, these mushrooms. You recognise these actually quite quickly. You have seen mushrooms and funguses like this before. They are they're not like heavily sort of valuable or heavily powerful for that, but they are edible. And they are also kind of they are known for being almost sort of alchemical in their nature, in that they can actually be used in kind of the luminescence that they provide can be kind of used in many ways. They are sometimes used to coat even weaponry or pieces of like clothing or armor to provide this sort of like illumination. It's a kind of short-lasting effect, and it's essentially it's almost like a solar effect. They seem to sort of hold light during the day, which they absorb, and then as the sort of sun sets and goes away, they almost sort of radiate the same sort of brightness back out. If they are in sort of darkened areas or underground or in caverns for long periods, they no longer exert that light at all. But they can be used for kind of going, if you've gone from a light area into a dark area quite quickly, or from a naturally lit area, they can be used to, provide a light source.
They're known as lampshumes.
Correct.
Sam?
Yes.
I would like to use plant empathy to commune, I guess, with sort of one of these big trees that's knocking around, like the one that's over on the left.
Yeah, absolutely.
And stuff. I'm specifically trying to get a read from it whether this area is hostile to us and whether it's dangerous.
Yeah, okay, yeah. If I can get a secret diplomacy check from you.
You can indeed.
Not often you get to roll diplomacy for a plant. Actually, that's not true, because I guess actually Shane did that a fair amount in our last campaign.
But is it alt?
Control.
Control, it's okay. Alt as blind to guess marks. There you go.
Nice. So yeah, as you've sort of been travelling this direction, and through the night and some of the experience you've had, you've already become aware of the feeling. The sort of the vibe in the forest has certainly changed. It's almost become a little, maybe not overtly adversarial, but kind of almost working against you at times. And that's something you'd all sort of picked up on over the last sort of few hours of your journey as it sort of got dark. And as you attempt to sort of reach out and communicate with the plant life around you, in particular the trees that you are so connected with, there is a kind of it's not a sense of them not communicating with you, but there's almost like you almost sense like a reluctance. And as you try to pick up on anything, there's just the answers come a little slower, a little less clear than you're maybe used to. Sorry, the nature of the question again was about are you in any kind of danger?
Whether the area itself is dangerous, not so much for us, but just in general, anything unnatural. I guess anything that unnaturally dangerous, so like lots of predators or
Yeah.
things chopping down trees, that sort of stuff.
So yeah, you sort of try to get a feel for that from the trees around you. And I say you get this kind of reluctant and slow responses, and the general sort of response and vibe you get as you commune with a few of the sort of natural life sources around you is one of the forest itself is dangerous. And in particular, there is just this general message about the depth of the forest itself. You almost one of the trees is almost able to communicate to you that its ancestors came from one of the more outer parts of the forest where things were safer and more welcoming, and this is a darker part of the forest. More than anything, there is one particular sort of breed. I don't know if that's the right word. There's one particular type of tree as you're sort of communing with the various bits around. There are one of them in particular. It's this slightly more almost sort of conifer style tree, and sort of thicker bristles and sort of heavier. And sort of made for sort of more rugged terrain almost. And these ones in particular seem to give almost like the opposite message. This one in particular, its ancestors, its seed came from deeper within the forest, and it seems to think of this area as delightfully peaceful, delightfully safe. And more than anything, it actually communicates to you that it's not just about whether it tells you you are safer here than you would have been where its ancestors were planted, but for itself, where it is now, at least it is planted at all.
Interesting.
And you almost get there's almost a reluctance to the answer, and it's almost as if rather than answering your question about your safety, all the trees want to talk about is their own safety currently.
Okay.
Fucking selfish, isn't it?
It is. Well, trees, they are quite selfish.
If you were them, you would be the same.
Yeah.
I'm really sorry. So that, I mean, there's certainly space and areas around here you could camp if you wanted to. You could look for any kind of routes up the mountain. If you were able to find a kind of a less overtly steep route up, that would certainly be a route you could go up. If not, there are ways to climb a mountain. No surface is unclimbable. Doing it in the dark, you immediately just looking at the sort of the height and the sort of some of the sheer sort of just the way some of it just raises up almost straight in places. Doing that in light would be a really challenging undertaking. Doing it under darkness would be a step further beyond that.
Okay. Okay, Kasha will, having sort of looked around at the trees, are we looking for somewhere to camp?
Might be more sensible to camp and try and climb this in the day. I mean, I'm feel like I'd be pretty comfortable in trying to find us a route up. Finding trails, things like that is something I'd expect I'm quite good at.
These old bones are starting to wake at this time of night.
But yeah, it might not be the idea to do that in the night. It's a bit risky, I think. My opinion, anyway. Feel free to disagree.
people start setting up a camp, Kasha will not really help, but will hang around there. But she will summon Thornleaf and talk to Thornleaf for a bit, and then Thornleaf is gonna fly off into the night.
Yeah.
What Cash has done is sent Thornleaf off kind of towards that village up on the hill.
Yeah.
I don't know how. I can't quite tell how far away that is.
It's quite some height. I mean, as you sort of look up from where you are, I mean, in terms of just height, how sort of elevated it looks from where you are, you must be looking at a good few hundred feet at the absolute minimum. This is some distance up above you.
Because it's going to say Thornleaf travels at 25 feet per combat round. So basically, going to send Thornleaf off with an instruction to get near it and have a look for paths that might lead up to it, but then stop somewhere where they can watch it.
Yeah.
And then in about an hour, Cash is going to use Thornleaf's eyes to look at it. Unless Thornleaf is under instructions to, if it starts to get dangerous.
Okay.
Or whatever, to come back.
Okay. Whilst so as Thornleaf goes off to that, as you are sort of preparing to rest up, can I get? I'll let you choose amongst yourselves. One of you to make a secret survival check which will sort of allow you to find the most kind of suitable campsite nearby.
I am out of my depth when it comes to survival in this forest, so I would prefer if someone else did that.
I'm relatively good at survival, but I'm happy for anyone else to do it if they'd rather, because I have other things I can do.
I'm also okay at survival.
Yeah, Kasha shows no interest in looking for anywhere.
I definitely defer to other people about where we should set camp. I'm gonna, if you raise that, I'm slightly concerned about getting caught, but I don't know how to build a camp that's stealthy. So yeah, I'll let someone else do it.
Darius would just do it. Everyone doesn't know. He'll want into to find a camp. He will find a great camp with great herbs.
Jesus.
I mean, you say that, Shane. To be fair, Darius is tied first for the best survival modifier in your party.
Yeah, see, he will find some great herbs in the area we're going.
Nice, yeah. And as sort of Kasha sort of withdraws somewhat and goes quiet, and Darius kind of leads the way a little in trying to clearly wants to rest up more than anyone else, sort of leads the way in finding a space. Is able to kind of do so and pretty well. Darius, you're able to you find a sort of a spot that is kind of, it opens up a little bit. It's also somewhat it also looks somewhat sort of guarded and protected. It sort of sits below, almost sort of, there's like a mound and a hill, and it just kind of sits below it a little, and you're kind of you're sheltered. The sort of lines of sight to where you're setting up this camp are kind of rather restricted. There's lots of ways that you're kind of blocked off, and you would be less visible to others. It does mean you would have a little bit less visibility than maybe you would like sometimes in terms of looking around yourselves. But this looks like a pretty good place to camp actually in general. So what I will do very quick is cool. So yeah, we'll as you all sort of begin to sort of set up camp and settle down, Kasha, you send Thornleaf out, and as they sort of carry on, everyone's doing what they're doing. Thornleaf returns to you after a period of time, and you were just looking to get sort of kind of a recce of these lights and this as Thornleaf sort of arrives back, is able to sort of communicate with you. There are a number of buildings up there, sort of relatively basic wooden buildings, but there are also sort of carved stone structures, like sort of stairways around this area where they are. There is the they are how much I'm just trying to remember how much communication or like I think you have like a quite a you get like a pretty much a entire understanding, don't you, with Thornleaf, I believe. Yes, yeah. Oh, especially as a druid, yeah.
What language does Four Leaf speak?
So I think so. It's not an audible language that Thornleaf has, but they are able to communicate, especially with Kasha as a druid, and you know as it's their familiar. And yeah, you there are humanoids up there. Sort of, there's not a lot of movement around this settlement, but in some of the windows and every now and again between buildings, there are what look to be humans sort of walking around up there. There is no kind of obvious weaponry or defensives you could see. There's no sort of like turrets or anything set up. It's kind of, it looks like this place is more than anything protected by its location rather than any kind of walls or weaponry or anything. The other thing I will get, can you make, with Thornleaf, can you make a secret perception check for me?
Yeah. There you go.
Nice. The other thing which Thornleaf is able to tell you is that as well as all those these features of this settlement that they've noticed, there was something else that Thornleaf has seen. Just away from the settlement itself, there is a kind of there is another sort of something has been built as well up there rather than natural fitting. And there is, I believe you've got share senses, haven't you? So you can kind of,
yeah.
I think you can literally like share Thornleaf's vision, even, can't you?
Yeah, it's only for a minute, which is why she sort of sent him up there, and then once given him time to get there, then took over his senses for a minute.
Perfect. Yeah, in that case, I can give you a far better description of this then. Just sort of off to the side of this settlement, there is what looks to be there is like a wooden platform and series of ropes and pulleys and levers, and these ropes are massive in length, and looks to be some kind of rudimentary sort of pulley, almost like an elevator of some type for moving things up and down some of the cliff face. It sits just to the side of where the settlement is, and as you sort of look downwards on the mountain, you don't see anything lower down. So it seems whatever this contraption is kind of seated at that height currently. But it seems there are ways that this settlement have found to make the journey to and from the settlement far more manageable than it looks to you otherwise.
I will pass that on to the rest of the party.
Yeah, that feels helpful. It feels like something we can make use of.
This doesn't. My feeling is that this isn't where the archer came from.
Well, let's hope not, because we fucked up all their friends, so...
One other thing I'll give you, actually, based on your perception result. The one other thing that Thornleaf and then you, while sharing their senses, was like that. The other thing that you note is, again, kind of just slightly separated from the sort of main sort of settlement and buildings. There is what looks to be some kind of like carvings in the stone and some of the cliff faces themselves. And you are able to recognise, just from the carvings and the sort of symbology and the sort of it, there is a shrine to Shanti that sits up as part of this settlement as well.
Okay.
As a follower, you would pick up on that.
The mother has a shrine there. Perhaps we can see if we can sense her when we get closer.
Anything else anybody wants to do, anything before you sort of camp up for the night?
I feel like as soon as we got sorted, Darius was kind of making his bed straight away to go to sleep.
Once we've kind of actually made camp, and Adsala will help with that, and obviously set up things and all that. Once we've actually got that sorted, though, can I just take a little bit of a look around just the immediate area and see if I can work out where the trail might need to go from where we are to get on track to find this. See if there is a trail up the mountain we can find or anything like that, or if it's going to have to be a climb.
Yeah, if I can get from you a secret survival check.
Oh boy, you sure can.
Yeah, you assume you're not going too far away from the camp, but you take a sort of bit of an exploratory sort of look around, trying to spot either from distance or even from a little bit closer without getting too far away from the rest of the party any kind of obvious routes up or anything. You see there are a few bits where the sort of hillside sort of goes up at a bit of an easier climb, but all of them very quickly begin to hit these sort of real sheer sort of just almost 180 degree sort of sheer climbs at points. You can see there are definitely routes that could be climbed. It would not be impossible to climb up to that settlement. You know your own sort of fitness and your abilities pretty well. You suspect that if you had to make it up there yourselves with no kind of assistance, or just yourself with your abilities, Adsalor, you think you could probably get from the sort of base where you are more or less camped now to that settlement. But it could be, even if things work in your favour, this could be a sort of multi-hour climb potentially. There are certainly places you could see that you would kind of need to stop and really plan out your moves and where things are going to go. Otherwise, you could quite quickly find yourself kind of cut off on some kind of rocky outcropping that would be with no sort of route upwards from there, and the route down kind of even harder than it was to get there in the first place. It is absolutely doable. You truly believe that, but it would be real tough work over a period of time.
Yeah. I will share that with people. Kind of, I assume we're sat around a campfire in the evening or something. I will pass that information on. Look, it's not impossible, but if there's a better way, if they've got a system to get up there themselves, that might be better.
A little climbing doesn't frighten me.
No, and I'd be perfectly happy to take the climb, but I think some amongst us might struggle more than others. He very not so subtly stares at Darius.
Darius is already asleep.
Then he doesn't feel bad about it.
Anything else? Or are we good?
Not for me.
Good,
I'm
I think.
Good at that point.
Okay. Is anyone? Is anybody on watch overnight? There are essentially, if everybody wants to get the full benefits of a night's rest, there'll have to be at least 3 of you taking sort of watch, sort of duties over periods of the night.
Yeah, I think we should.
Yeah, I agree.
I think it'd be silly not to, considering we already been attacked in the night.
Who are the 3 members that are going to take watches overnight?
I'll take one.
And in what order, just so we can work out who's to blame if things go wrong.
I'll do one.
Yeah. One for
I'll
Faden, one
happily
for
take.
Axelor.
I'll happily take middle watch.
I'll take the morning watch.
Deepest dark in the night.
You just get up early anyway.
Okay.
So.
Cool. Okay, so you got 5 of you now, haven't we? We are losing people. In which case, I have updated the rations in your party. Sheet once again, as I have been doing previous nights. You've still got quite a lot of rations because they're less of you to feed. Not that I want to rub that in. Cool. Let me.
That's a win to me.
Sorry.
That's a win if we've got less to feed. That was the plan, right?
That was the plan all along. Cool. And the one thing I'll get just from the 3 of you taking watch then. So Phelan, you are the first person I'll watch overnight. Can I get a secret perception check from you, please? Thank you very much. And then from Axel. Lovely. And your morning watch, or this is an early watch, one from Halloran. Nice. So yeah, Darius is already fast asleep. The rest of you kind of agree some sort of plans through the night, sort of keep an eye on things, as this has been a sort of difficult night, and Kasha didn't get tons of assurance about this sort of area of the forest. And yeah, you all sort of settle down for the night and begin sort of take watches, and you're all good. Things work okay through the night. No particular issues. Let's go through to the next one. So everyone can rest for the night.
Yeah, boy. Whee.
And anyone that's got any daily preparations obviously can also do those, and any spellcasters can do their spell preparation for the day.
We are about to go into unknown territory, correct? So Darius will pick up some different spells.
Matt, you can rest for the night and do any of your daily preparations, by the way.
That's my bad.
You can take a little bit of healing, my friend.
Yay.
The daily preparations don't seem to heal Thornleaf. Can I heal him back up to 25?
Yeah, that's fine, yeah.
Okay.
Interesting, I've just noticed with the overnight resting, everyone's now on full health except for Halloran, who's 1 HP short. There's enough healing around your party that I'm sure at some point overnight you can get that one last HP back.
Is he kind?
Well, I mean, you know, if you get through the next combat whenever it comes up and you get by on 1 HP, then maybe I'll take it back. But I think we're okay. Nice. Yeah, anyone that's got any daily preparations or spell preparation, I'll let you sort of crack on with that. Yeah, as you sort of waken in the morning, what a silly boy. I actually didn't ever bother creating a daytime version of this, but you can imagine what this would look like in a day. Brighter, presumably, and with less overt light from the settlement. Following morning, you sort of wake up rested. Those of you that have been on watch overnight, it was actually a pretty sort of quiet watch, despite the sort of forest feeling like it was working against you for some time, and some of the things that happened. there's no real worries or anything that kind of struck you overnight of anything of particular concern. The only thing that kind of did really pull any attention away from the three of you that were on watch actually occurred very late into the night and early in the morning. Halloran, as you were on watch, you sort of took over from Adslor as they then went off to rest up for the night. And you sort of kept watch on the group and sort of looking around this area. So you sort of like on a sort of protected by a bit of a hillside, so you're somewhat safe. And you keep an eye on the surrounding area, looking out from time to time, looking up at the sky as the sort of sun began to rise, and often just your eyes diverting back up to that settlement that was sort of almost sort of watching over you and sort of towering up there, and that your group was kind of already sort of puzzled amongst themselves about what it is or how you could be able to get there if you decided to. And there's one thing you notice. Similarly to how the previous morning Kasha had kind of spotted as the sun rose, it sort of crested over the peak of this mountain, sort of leading you in this direction, helping you find the mountain itself. The sun kind of gives you just one moment of kind of awareness, or something picks up on, and where you can see the settlement itself, it's harder to pick up now during the day without the sort of light sources from it. It kind of, you see it actually kind of blends into the mountainside quite well. And if you had arrived here during the day, you wouldn't have seen it the way you did. But there is all the lights fade from it, but there is a kind of a reflection you see from time to time where you can see the sun is kind of almost bouncing off of something. Nothing massive or anything like that, but just every now and again it just sort of catches your eye a little, as it almost as there is almost some kind of movement, and the sun sort of reflects and moves very slightly differently. It catches your eye from it as it sort of crosses across your face. And yes, it's kind of, you can just about see every now and again where the sun is kind of reflecting. It's coming from slightly off of the settlement itself, but whatever it is reflecting the light very, very simply, very basically, and far too far away and too small a sort of source to really give you much more than that.
Okay, so what was the takeaway? Sorry, I missed that. Like, was there
the sunlight is reflecting off something?
okay, fine.
Yeah, something like
the...
out just off from the main sort of settlement area itself, but it kind of. It's almost as if something metallic or shiny or something that would reflect it is almost as if it is in motion or moving, because it kind of deflects the light from time to time and catches you.
Cool. Sorry, I slightly misunderstood what you said, and I thought you were on about the settlement itself, and I was like,
oh, okay.
I didn't quite understand what we'd learned, but perfect. All right, cool.
Would it be the kind of reflection that you might see or expect to see off of something that was like made of glass, as if someone's using like a lens or something?
Potentially, I mean, yeah. So it kind of.
I know it's hard to tell, but
it's the distance of it. It's. I mean, as I said, if you guys arrived here when the town or this settlement was sort of lit up, if you arrived here now, you're not even sure if you'd have picked it out at all. Something reflects, moves, and it's not it's not a stationary thing, because the way the light sort of refracts and moves around does change and sort of catch and dart across your faces almost as it's happening. It could be reflective of something entirely natural. It could be someone trying to catch your attention. It's really hard to say.
I'll pass it on to the group when they wake up.
Mm.
See, there's something up there. My personal theory is they're building some sort of drilling machine to bore into the side of the mountain.
seems logical.
It's bad.
Drill, baby, drill. Yeah, what's the plan?
Climb up
I guess Are we looking around for seeing if we can find this like pulley system anywhere that they seem to have? Because surely if they have a pulley system at the settlement, it must join to somewhere, right? Are we checking that first, and then if that goes nowhere, just climbing? Is it
Yeah.
worth giving an hour of our day, maybe?
I'm assuming, Sam, in the depths of night, there was no like movement we heard in the forest itself, or like the area we're in itself, in sort of movement coming through, like even
No.
off a distance. No,
No.
so we have no clue about where this might be if there isn't if there even is one.
What do we want to do? Am I still here? Have I been disconnected? Okay, I can't hear anything, but I can see you all talking. Amazing. Somebody say something?
Hello.
Wonderful. Sorry.
Oh,
Cool. Yeah.
Charlie!
I don't know what happened then. I could see you were all talking because you were lighting up, but I heard nothing post. Well, yeah. Whenever I started saying to say, "Well, we'll do anything," what's happening? Yeah.
Well, we came up with a really good plan when you said that, but we're not
Cool.
going to repeat it. So you
Yeah,
just
that's
have
fine.
to imagine
I'll
what
just
our
assume it
plan
was great, and yeah, you can get
And we
immediately to the
succeeded.
settlement. Yeah.
We're
Yeah.
in the settlement, yeah.
Yes, that sounds fair.
Darius is going to carry everyone on his back up the Clap Mountain because he's the best climber.
Wonderful. Right. I'm hold you to that. We'll start doing rolls now, shall we, Shane? And just let me hang on one sec. I just want to double check how full damage works in Pathfinder.
It hurts.
Yeah. Sorry. So yeah, what was the kind of plan from here?
I was suggesting that maybe we do a bit of a recce,
Yep.
just in case some people might struggle to go up and down the mountain, and see if we can find any easier ways up.
Okay. Okay. So what I'll do, if you,
That'll be
I'll
session.
give you all of you the choice essentially. So you can spend some time sort of looking around and trying to find these sort of options. Each of you can make a secret check, and you can make one of your choice. You can either make a survival check, which is just to look for general routes. You can make a perception check, which is looking for anything that stands out as kind of out of place, or anything that looks, something that, rather than just routes themselves, something that hints towards any kind of options. Or you can each also make a secret athletics check, which would be to kind of give you an idea of how you would feel about the climb if that was the only option. So yeah, survival, perception, or athletics. Each of you can make your own choices.
I'm doing perception to look around, but I am specifically trying to look and see if I can find that pulley system that Kasha mentioned, and whether that looks like it has a base at all,
Yeah.
potentially, if I'm looking.
I'm not sure if you can see what I rolled, so if you can't,
I can,
perception
yes.
as well.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. Yeah. Just
Cormac?
because I
Oh,
back
okay.
myself, I don't back everybody else.
I just wanted to check. Did you say athletics or acrobatics?
So it's either survival, perception, or athletics.
Right, okay.
Survival is just to look for routes up. Perception is to look for anything out of place, and athletics is to see how your character thinks they could handle the climb.
Okay, I'll do athletics. Is it? How do I do private? again?
Hold control.
It's alt. There we go.
Lovely, lovely. Okay. Well, lots of you decided to look for one type of thing. Phelan decided to look for something else. Yeah, so you all sort of you all spend time in basically taking a real sort of selection of your options around here. It takes in the best sort of part of an hour and a half, 2 hours, really sort of looking out for anything you can all find. Phelan, you more than anything, you spend the time just sort of looking around and getting a feel for how you think you could cope with the climb. You look up and you feel confident. You think if you had to make this climb, you think you could make it. It would probably be 90 minutes to 2 hours climb in total. Tough. You think you could do it. You look around some of the other members of the party, and I'll let you decide for yourself who I might be referring to. But anyone that had like a similar or better athletics modifier than yourself, who has a +9, this looks like a pretty favourable, doable climb with some real sort of focus and attention and sort of time. Anyone that was just slightly below that is going to find it tougher but could be doable. If there was anyone in the party that had at least, 8 less on their modifier than you and was a lot more older than other members of the party, you suspect they would be kind of fucked. You think you could do this. You suspect most members of your party could do this. You can't see any way Darius could make this climb realistically. And if anything, your concern, Phelan, would be Darius could quickly find themselves in a situation where they had no kind of route further up or back down and would almost be a liability and a danger to the rest of the group. Realistically, this would take some real sort of athletic sort of strength and fitness, and one member of the party doesn't have that currently. The rest of you spend a bit more time instead just looking out. You've already worked out the routes up here don't seem promising or overly great outside of a climb essentially. But you all spend time looking for, essentially, the other 4 of you are all looking for alternatives or options or signs. Adsalor, Halloran, you both spend time looking around and you don't pick up a lot. Adsalor in particular, so you said you were sort of looking for anything that linked to this sort of pulley or elevator system that Kasha told you about, but don't really see a lot. You think you can make it out actually, and as you sort of get to the base of that and close to where it is, you can see actually where what Kasha described. You can see it, but there's nothing obvious you can see further down. Nothing jumps out to you at all. It's Kasha and Darius on the other hand, who kind of come out of this in the sort of the strongest place and give your group what looks to be an option. Kasha, you've been able, through sharing sensors for me, if you've seen a closer up of the settlement and this pulley system, etc., you can see where you think that would land. And as you're sort of looking at that, you can see what looks like a kind of a traversable path up to what would essentially be where the cliff really begins to get sheer, which kind of lines up with where this pulley and this elevator sits. Darius, you also can see, you're probably not overly keen on this climb, I imagine, but there are a number of what look to be quite interesting herb bushes and sort of flora around, and you can almost see there is a sort of, in amongst some of these sort of plants and herb bushes and trees, etc., they, using almost your knowledge of how they grow and how they sort of make themselves, sort of set themselves, there is actually some paths through here. You can actually use your knowledge of the flora itself to work out that even where there's some sort of heavy cover and plant cover, some of these bits must be flat. Some of them must even be, you assume, like soiled areas. You also, as much as you don't fancy the climb, you think you can see relatively comfortable traversable path right the way up to where it really becomes that sort of sheer cliff face. And as you sort of, as a group, sort of discuss your findings, you can all sort of begin to see this sort of route that sort of stands out. This isn't a route, this isn't a road or a path. This is still a cliff, I'll say a mountain that you would be climbing. But there is a route up that definitely looks, from where you are currently, doable for all members of your party, with a few tests along the way.
I mean,
Seems like that's
I'm
the way we
happy to
should
give it a go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. So you can all see this route. You begin sort of climbing up and following this route, and it's actually in places it's quite traversable. It gets quite steep in spots, but nothing overly difficult until you reach the first kind of challenge in your route. You get to a point, and this is one of the spots that you saw, Darius. You can see there is like some soiled area on the mountain, where there's a lot of growth and some bushes coming up and everything. And sadly, there's what looks to be right in the path of where you can sort of see this way up. There's what looks to have been like a landslide occurred, and there is essentially a chasm that opens up about 7 feet in distance, maybe just short of that, sort of 6 to 7 feet. And you look around. There are no obvious alternative paths. You think there might be an alternative path you can see going in a slightly different direction that might be able to wind back up in a similar sort of direction, but you could try that route. It's certainly a diversion from the route that you've all spotted on the way up here. Alternatively, there is this chasm that you could attempt to deal with, each of you. As I say, it's about sort of somewhere sort of 6 to 8 feet maybe in distance. Just to give a little bit of aid, or to kind of give you some ideas, you might have plenty of ideas how to deal with this. There is just a basic action in Pathfinder, which is long jump, which is a DC 15 athletics check. If you are successful, you can leap your a distance equal to your check result, rounded down to the nearest 5 feet. So essentially, I mean, this anyone that passed that DC 15 would be able to do this without issues. Just to be clear, anyone that this went particularly poorly for, that you are already a decent way up, and this is a pretty steep piece of landslide. So there is a basic action that could get you all across it with a DC 15 athletics. Alternatively, you might have options among the group that you might want to...
Could we do that and another idea? Like, say someone jumps across and we throw a rope over. And is there a way we could hold a rope and then pulley maybe an old feeble man across?
Hey, you can try anything. You tell me what you want to try and do, and I will make you work for it.
I'm just saying, I've got a +1 on athletics.
How deep did you say this was?
What, this landslide, this sort of chasm.
Yeah.
As you sort of look down it, I mean, it's not sheer. More than anything, it's more of a slide, sort of, where there's been a landslide rather than a straight drop down. But if somebody sort of fell down it, there's certainly going to be some immediate damage just from the fall as they sort of make contact. But you could find yourselves a long way further down the mountain than the rest of the party. Yeah, it's a fair distance down.
If you could climb, if you were a small creature,
yeah,
could you scuttle down across and back up?
Yeah,
Or is
almost
there
certainly. Yeah. Yeah, there are certainly some sort of smaller ledges and parts where a small creature, a rabbit or something like that, could easily sort of make it across here with no issue. It's more the weight of a sort of humanoid moving across it.
Fine. Yeah, in which case, so we're looking at it, and Kasha, without really saying anything, will use a focus. She can get to the right bit of page to do it, and she cast Pest Form. Oh, interesting. It says I can't cast it.
It might be because you haven't got tokens on the map. That's cool.
Oh, could be, yeah. Anyway, she'll cast it. I'll just tick off one focus point.
Yeah.
But she'll cast Pest Form, which will last for 10 minutes. And then she will turn into a squirrel. Seems like the logical kind of creature. And her and Thorny could fly, but then she'll scuttle down and kind of leap across a much smaller little bit and scuttle up to the other side.
Yeah, you'll see as Kasha takes the squirrel form and quite quickly is able to sort of hop across some of the sort of smaller ledges of this landslide and get over to the other side of the chasm. How's everybody else want to traverse this?
Toss me. Actually, I think I'm strong enough to toss me. I can't jump.
Yeah. There you go. DC 15 athletics check. Nice. Halloran makes this look easy. Takes a step back. Takes a sort of short sort of run up to it, a stride up, and comfortably jumps more than their height, frankly, in distance. But yeah, lands the other side gracefully and comfortably. And Darius, I mean, this is a piece of piss.
I toss myself. I mean, I jump.
I mean, 6 feet is some distance. I'm impressed. Yeah, we've got Adslor, Darius, and Phelan still on the other side of this chasm.
I mean, I feel like Adslor's probably just going to try and jump it.
What's the little way of doing
mad.
this?
Yeah, all good. Yeah, go for it. DC 15 athletics.
Athletics. That's something I'm okay at, isn't it? Oh, it's actually not something I'm great at, but sure. DC 15. What's the odds on that? Okay, fine.
Nice. Oddly, not quite as nimbly and not quite as comfortably as Halloran does it, but yeah, you take a step back, stride forward, and take the long jump over. Land, footing is comfortable. You're in no danger, but it's you're there.
I mean, I'd argue. Have you ever seen a tree jump?
Not
not something they're well known for. So
well, I mean,
I did my best.
They might be better than some people, but we're slowly whistling our way down to facing that problem. Phelan, what would you like to do? How are you gonna get across this?
Can I just do like a long jump?
Yeah, there you go. DC 15 athletics.
Can I reach out a hand from this side to kind of catch
to aid
anyone that maybe doesn't quite make the jump?
Yes. Can you, in that case, before you make your roll, Phelan, Adslor, can you do another athletics check for me then, as you sort of aid them in this?
I clicked a button, but I don't know if anything's happened.
It has not.
I'll click it again. Oh no, it won't. Something happened.
Okay. Phelan, you can make your long jump.
Okay. Oh.
Hey, hero points exist, Phelan.
Yeah.
So, hero points exist. Adslor is there waiting to help you. and is providing a +2 bonus to anyone making this jump, that is still not enough. You have a hero point if you want to use it.
Hero points exist, Phelan.
Nice. Yeah, Phelan, you step back. Ancelor prepares themselves and looks over at the two of you that are waiting. Phelan takes a jump forward, goes for it, and you see, Darius, you're watching this, knowing that you're the last one to have to traverse it, and you see, as Phelan makes the jump, their footing slips very slightly on the edge just before the chasm, and it's before the landside sort of opens up. And for a moment, you think Phelan is about to go down, and you see Adsalor reach forward with their hand, ready to grab him. And luckily, Phelan is able to just adjust, and as that foot slips, the other foot pushes off a little bit stronger, and is able to land, sort of jumps over, lands comfortably just alongside you, Adsalor. But even you, as you watched on for a moment, you thought you were going to have to reach out and try to aid them. Darius.
Yeah.
You are still on the other side of this opening.
He's the only one here now, so my idea of one person having a rope and me going over that way isn't going to happen now. I'm guessing he's just going to have to go for
Hear
it.
me out. No.
Live or die.
I think we can do something here. I think I have a rope.
I've got rope.
Yeah,
I could try a rope throw myself and throw it at you.
50 feet of rope. Okay. Now, there's now... How many of us over here? 4 of us over here? So, can I take my rope and tie a big loop in it, big enough for the 4 of us to stand in?
This could go brilliantly. Yes, you can.
And then something weighty needs to be on the end to get it back to Darius. So I'll tie, I don't know, I'll pick up a log or something on the floor, or a rock or something on the floor, to tie the other end round it.
Yeah.
And then chuck it to Darius. Right, we'll stand really, really strong, and we'll hold on and use us to just, like, pull yourself up if needed. Right? We're now a safety line for you. Unless there's something over that side you can tie onto. If there is, then just do that. But this is maybe funnier.
I'm going to just try and hold it while I run and jump.
Obviously, as a GM, I'm always your biggest fan. I want you guys to succeed. But I really hope this goes badly.
When you put the rope out and you kind of, right, everyone's standing it, Squirrel Casher just kind of looks at you and chitters and doesn't
forgot Casher was a squirrel. Oi, squirrely. Oi, chipmunk, get in this.
Just looks at you.
I expect
Sticks her
Chipmunk
head to one
Casher
side.
to be in the circle of rope, please.
Yeah, she's not.
Cool. So it's
You are a disappointment.
so it's Halloran, Adsalor, Phelan, yeah.
Well, what am I being roped into?
Literally.
Literally.
We're just being an anchor for if our good friend Darius forgets how to jump. There's
Okay.
3 of us. We combined are way stronger than Darius is heavy. It shouldn't be a problem.
I don't know.
You're a big guy. It's fine.
I am, but I've also done a lot of barn raising in my time, and I feel much more comfortable if there's something physical to anchor this to, like a big rock or a tree.
Yeah, I had
Assuming
one.
they're-
It's called Halloran.
Yeah, he just wrapped it around you.
I like
Brie.
that currently Adsalor has this wrapped around himself like a hula hoop, just being like, come on, it's fine.
It'll be all right, guys.
The squirrel in there.
Don't
There's.
you worry. I've got
I
my
think you
squirrel on side.
I think you should wrap it around Darius as
Squirrel.
well, and then the 3 of you just run the opposite direction.
Oh, just
away
like
from
yank him over.
And
Fucking
just pull him
excellent
over,
idea.
As soon as I see all of them in it, I'm gonna do it.
Well, hang on, before you do it, just to clarify, is everyone on board with doing so? I know Cash has already said they're not.
I don't think I'm on board. No.
Casher is a squirrel. So
Phelan?
probably isn't much use.
If it's needed, then I'll do it. But
Well, Darius might be fine.
I mean, Crasher could also unsquirrel herself if she wanted to help, and I don't think I'm on board. So, Is there really nothing we can tie this to?
If I'm honest with you, I haven't even looked.
There's
I'm gonna look.
Didn't even think about that.
amusingly, the 60-minute hero point hand that's just popped up. I'm trying to think who might need hero points the most right now. I mean, we haven't had a ton of too much roleplay, so I will use the random thing on here, which, as it happens, does award a hero point to Darius. It's almost like it knows.
It knows I'm about to fall off a cliff.
Yeah, you look around nearby. There are places you could tie a rope. Are any of those places particularly secure, stable, strong? There's nothing. I mean, Halloran's the one that's convincing, I guess, mostly here. If you were falling now, there's nothing you can see nearby that you would be confident in anchoring this to stop yourself falling.
I think you tie it around yourself, you got hold of it, you're strong enough to get. He's an old man, he don't weigh much.
I mean, roughly, how much does Darius weigh? Just wondering. Is it?
I don't have much equipment on me.
And not much muscle, I imagine, either at this point.
Not much muscle either. My athletics is a 1.
Yeah, that's why we're in this mess.
And he's
Remember,
quite
we know
slim
that.
as well. Not like...
So Adslaw is inside of this,
Inside
for
the
lack of a
suit.
better term, noose.
If no one else is
Phelan,
doing it, I'm not going to do it. Fucking hell.
Phelan,
like-
were you helping Adslaw with this?
Oh
You're essentially back up to counterweight if Darius doesn't make the jump.
Holy shit. Okay, I get. Yeah.
Has
fine.
this been
Yes.
longer than 9
One
minutes?
of
Of,
us,
I mean,
one of
I'll let
us.
you decide that, Phil.
Part of the
yeah,
ship.
I think it
part of
probably,
the
it probably
crew.
has, and around
Everyone
that time,
individually has been jumping.
Kasha
Everyone's
just,
jumped. It's taken 10 minutes to make this decision for Darius.
yeah, Kasha
Part
will
of the ship.
come out of squirrel form,
Thank you very much.
Not piece of my mouth.
sat on a stump, just looking at you.
Hang on.
It's
Hang
nice.
on. No, I've thought of
Very
something
red.
far
Thank you.
more sensible. Kasha, you're like a tree wizard, right?
I'm a druid.
Yes, tree wizard,
Same
right?
thing.
Yeah. Can't you make a tree appear? Haven't you got a spell that literally makes a tree appear out of thin air?
Yeah, I can
could you-
create a protector tree.
Could you create a mighty protector tree we can tie this rope to?
We spend
Oh, I see.
10
I
minutes.
actually thought you were going to get him to get Kasha to grow a tree, and then get Darius to climb the tree, which just seems to not solve the problem. But okay, yeah, I see what you're doing. That makes more sense.
I mean, that would have been hilarious. But...
Kasha kind of looks at you and says, "So now help one of the party."
Wait, what?
Before you just let them die.
Yeah, but I know
I don't-
Darius is real. Also, I'm not like... I don't think I let anyone die. People died. But I'm making an active choice now about something. This is different.
Because you think Darius is real.
Because I have the opportunity to not let someone get hurt. I didn't have that choice.
And die.
before.
You didn't fight for him. I don't think I feel like helping.
I will attempt to appeal to your softer side for this one, and point out that you weren't the only person that lost people, and we did what we could.
She spins round you when you say you were not the only person that lost people. I'm the only one that grieved.
We will grieve in our own way.
Oh, fuck it. If you're not going to help or make a tree, fine. I find a climbing kit at the bottom of my bag that I was clearly being too lazy to get out, and it has pitons and things like that, and a big hammer in it. And I'll dig a load of hooks into the floor if I can to try and secure the rope instead.
Yeah.
Are you serious? I'm not impressed.
I didn't see it was there. It just looked like a bag symbol.
There's a lot in this bag, right?
I have a lot of shit in my... I have fishing tackle. When have I fished?
You can throw it out and try and catch me with it.
Probably not in this mountain, yeah.
I also have soap. I'm made of wood. Why do I need that?
Is it not made of the resin that comes out of you sometimes?
You've been
No,
selling
making
it, yeah.
Yeah.
It's just, yeah.
Business opportunity.
Adsalor's natural soap. Ugh, no. Didn't like that.
Okay, Darius. So you've now taken yourself out of the noose Adsalor and used the climbing kit to sort of attach this to the ground with some of these pitons.
Yeah, I think I'm still going to hold the rope as well, just as a backup.
Just you.
Yeah, no one else is up for it, and so
Okay.
I will hold the rope just
Let's
in
see
case.
how many characters we lose. In that case, Darius, it's a DC 15 athletics check.
I'm gonna tie the rope around myself the best I can and hold on to it
Yeah.
as I run and jump.
Well, it's a DC 15.
Yeah, but I'm helping, right?
Yeah, you are helping. So yeah,
fuck.
you run. Well, as much as close as you can get to running, Darius. You take the leap, and it feels pretty good. You get the distance, and you quickly become aware you are just short of the distance actually to make it. You can sense this wasn't quite it. Luckily, Adsalor already has the rope attached down to this climbing piton, is pulling on the rope and is looking out, waiting to grasp, to catch you if need be, to make this as good as possible. As you jump over, you feel yourself going short. The rope starts to sort of you're ready. You almost your stomach tightens down as you ready for the rope to go tight. But Adsalor grasps you, sort of hand around your sort of forearm before the rope's needed, and is able to pull you up on the other side. And it was close, but nobody falls down this landslide.
As I pull Darius up and I make sure obviously he's safe, I turn around to Cash and I go, "Fuck you and your fucking attitude. You have no idea what my echo felt, and you have no idea what it wanted. Don't talk to me about grief."
Sort of growls. There's.
Then I go back.
Your
to
life
being
flashed
like a
before my
happy
eyes
tree.
then.
All good to carry on?
Yeah, boy.
Awesome.
Yep.
It will probably be easier from here. Yeah, you sort of look back, pick up I assume you're taking the rope and piton with you.
Yeah,
and
why not?
carry on up this path, heading up towards this sort of route that you think you've picked out and seen. And you sort of heading up in that direction, and you sort of carry on going up, and you can see the route. It moves from time to time. There's a couple of times where there's still some sort of parts that have slipped to move away, but nothing compared to that chasm you've just sort of traversed and got over. And you carry on up, and you start to reach the point where the sort of path ahead of you is no longer kind of this sort of hill heading upwards. It's starting to become sort of sheer cliff face. but you've still got some room to keep manoeuvring further and further up in the direction of where that pulley and elevator system is, until the path kind of begins to run out. And you move further and further whilst the group is still comfortable and there's still path for you, until you eventually get to what appears to be, there's still a sort of flat area in front of you, and then there's a sheer cliff edge down and no other route. And as you look up, all you can see above you is that wooden platform that you had seen the night before, Kasha, and that you'd all kind of decided to make your way towards to see when you get there. And you sort of stop and you look up at it, and as I say, there is the path back that you've just come up. There is the sheer cliff edge that you sort of look over and goes down to the forest. None of you feeling particularly confident you could survive that way back down. And you've just got, as you look back up, this rudimentary elevator and pulley system high up above you, far beyond any kind of route where you'll even be able to reach up to it. And it's at that moment that the voice rings out, and you hear a voice calls down and says, "I didn't have it on you to make it this far. You've reached what appears to be the end of the path, friends. What's your business
Do you
here?"
recognise this voice?
And you can see, peering over the edge, there are two sort of mid-30s male humans looking down from some distance up, stood on that wooden platform, and they look down at you. This isn't a voice you recognise, anything like that. And yeah, they ask what your business is.
We're seeking shelter, refuge for a time. We're travelling and just saw civilization. Thought we would stop by.
They sort of look down at you again, and you see for a second one of them sort of leans over, cups his sort of hand to his mouth, whispers in the ear of the other. And the one that was being whispered to sort of looks down, nods in the direction, sort of down towards you, and says, and that one points at you, Phelan. That's one of them, or it's a survivor.
It's one of us. I don't know what you mean.
Well, we're told that their kind are dying off, and we've seen the replacements. That's how we ended up here. Just as a brief reminder on some of the law, etc. There is, and we have discussed this in the past. There is a excuse me, one of the sort of notable sort of situations in the world over the sort of past sort of decade or so is this lack of natural birthed drow. As he talks about being a survivor, that is likely what they're referring to. The fact that no drow have been sort of recorded as being born for over a decade at this point. And there's this moment again, you see them converse amongst each other, and then they peer back over, and he calls out again before you even have much chance to reply, and says, "Best you step back quick. We'll send this down in a moment. Just let us go find Idgar." and you see one of them sort of carries on sort of peering over, looking down at you, and another one begins walking, and sort of walks and disappears out of view. It's gone for only a minute, 2 minutes before they come back. And all of a sudden, you can't really see much. You can see some sort of movement, and then there is creaking as this wooden trolley begins lowering down slowly. It sort of comes down slowly, and the ropes sort of tense all over the place, and you can. It makes noise. It creaks. It's uncomfortable, but it stays pretty solid, and it moves down. And as it sort of gets closer and closer to your group, you can see there are 2 males stood on this platform. One of them is one of the 2 gentlemen that was just talking to you, and the other is an older looking human, sort of dark brown hair but greying at this point, and there's a lot of grey mixed in, but there's still some natural colour left. And as this platform sort of begins to slow and come to a halt, where you're all stood, this elder of the 2 of them sort of stops and speaks with this kind of slow and almost carefully chosen sort of voice, and he says to you, "We don't get visitors often, children. We see survivors from time to time, but never just visitors. And which are you, I wonder?"
Can I sense motive?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Find Game Master. So I am trying to sense whether they are more curious or deceptive.
Yeah. You keep an eye on them both as they're sort of coming down. You see them sort of watching you. You hear this sort of first bit of conversation, and he immediately sort of carries on talking. You have a chance to kind of like just assess and sort of get a feel for what's going on. There is kind of no sense. The younger of the 2, this one is sort of mid-30s, is, you can see he's kind of cautious and guarded, but doesn't seem to be, certainly not providing any kind of threat at all. The elder of the 2, this older one who's speaking, seems comfortable, calm, open. There is no hint to you in any way, Cash, of any kind of duplicity or, and oddly, maybe even no concern from him. He doesn't seem to be tense in any way or worried about this situation. And he carries on speaking, and he says, "You are safe here. I know how little that word has meant if you have been travelling through the grove, but at least for now, let it mean something to you again. This is a place of safety." Who are you? Perhaps you would feel more comfortable talking over a cup of tea. Would you like to come up?
I can't hear you from down here.
They have lowered down. This is alongside you. Sorry. This elevator has lowered down to where you are.
That's better. Well, nice herbal tea sounds good. Coming up.
Kasha will step into the thing. Is it big enough for us?
Yeah. It's certainly room for you all, and the younger one that sees us sort of as you're sort of looking up, and he says, "You'd be surprised. This thing has carried far more than the weight of this group. This has been the only way we've been able to get safely into or out of the forest for quite some time. It will see you safe up to the town."
wants to rule in. If there's a gate thing, shut the gate. And
Yeah. And again, these sort of the sort of ropes begin creaking, and it is more noisy this time with the added weight. But again, it moves pretty smoothly as it starts going, and it doesn't swing too much. And you are fine, and maybe expected all of you to be somewhat uncomfortable and uncertain, but actually there's no immediate concern. And the elder of the two carries on talking to you on the way up, and you get this sense of reassurance. He actually seems keen to win your reassurance. And he speaks to you, he says, I understand entirely why you may be unsure, uncomfortable, untrusting even. I can assure you, if you had anything to worry, or if we felt we had anything to worry from you, we would not have lowered this cart in the first place. I mean no lack of respect towards you, but you were of little threat to us when you were all the way down there. This is a welcome, and there is no more to it.
Oh, thank you, young man.
It has been quite some time since I was called a young man.
Oh.
And as this sort of stops and reaches the top, you can get a better view at this point of this settlement. There are a number of buildings and dwellings kind of set up here, and they're on these kind of like stilted surfaces, and there are like there are some carved sort of stairs around the place. I think this is a kind of well established and sort of safe looking location. Like this isn't like a temporary camp. This is a group that have kind of made a home here, it seems. And as it sort of begins to a pull, he doesn't even take a moment to sort of show you around or look at. He begins walking and leads you off, and begins walking through the town. And he immediately, and you can see, you get the sense he is trying to win your favour and your confidence. And begins offering up far more than any of you have offered him so far. And he tells you, we for the longest time made our home in the forest for as long as time has been a construct. Sadly, the forest that was once a seed, we vowed never to leave. It was told by our forefathers that if the Famir were ever to leave the forest would grow dark and cruel, and we have stayed here forever. Sadly, still it grew dark. There are some vows that the world did not honour. It was at least 13 winters ago now that the forest was sealed by something, by what calls itself the Mother.
was it not the mother that sealed the forest?
We believed so. She told us that was so. I see now that we were wrong to trust the mask of whatever that creature is. The mother herself, she at some point was torn from her own forest, and the hollow pretender left behind. Something wears her warmth now like a stolen piece of clothing. They still call themselves a blessed mother, but there's nothing blessed in it anymore. It is merely a wound with a smile. Sadly, our trust was too long before it was broken. too late. Too late before it was broken. So we retreated. Some of our kind decided to head deeper into the forest, looking to take back some of the land we had lost over the last few decades to some of the other problems in the forest. And some of us decided, with no safety deeper and with no way out, that height was the one thing that may protect us. So here we are, the Famir, protectors of the forest, born of the forest and destined to always live within the forest and protect the forest. Now live out our final days above the forest, watching it slowly rot and turn to darkness.
I heard of it before.
Yes, yeah, the Famir are they are not like a single group. They are not like this isn't like a town or a certain people. They are more for lack of a better term, a sort of almost like a Romany group of people that made their home in the forest. They are followers of Shanti. They claim to have been living in Neelam's Grove since the very first seeds were planted, and the tree and the forest was a single tree. Famir have never, in any kind of recorded history, ever left the forest, never been seen outside of Neelam's Grove. People that have entered the grove have seen them and communed with them. Adventurers have communed with them in the past, but never seen outside of the forest. But yeah, not unheard of. It would mean something, especially as someone that follows Shanti and knows of Neelam's Grove. Yeah, you would be fully aware of their existence.
Tales of the Famir have spread to forests across Thentos. In our forest, they're spoken of with reverence.
And he smiles and he says, that's warming. I guess reverence will not bring back our homes, and reverence will not bring back the ones we have lost. And he stops as he says that for a moment. And he's sort of talking to you anyway as he replies to you, Kasha, but then he looks into your eyes and he says to you, You carry fresh grief. It's still bleeding. You have lost people on the way here, haven't you?
We have the pretender, my sister. I seek a way to commemorate her.
I worried for a moment you were going to use vengeance as what you were seeking. That's something that we do not believe in or would not tolerate here. This is not a place for vengeance or revenge or settling past actions. But if you are seeking ways to commemorate and remember the people you have lost and the other things that have been lost as this world has changed, there are many ears that will listen. Your sister, do you mind if I ask how she met her end?
We were hunted by a troop.
The Shadow Elves.
Elves were there. There were others who targeted her specifically.
Others?
There was a normal elf. It was a party of adventurers, I think. Honestly, we never found out why they struck from the forest, killed, and then the one that remained ran.
And they attacked you unprovoked.
Like lightning out of a clear sky.
Curious.
As we entered an ancient grove. I feel they had been hunting us.
Hunting you. I forgive the bluntness of my question. Your sister, was she born your sister? Was she a copy?
He was.
And he smiles and
He
says, your response tells me all I need to know. You have no reason to explain, no need to explain yourself, no need to explain your relationship with your sister. Your anger lies with the Shadow Elves, the source of your anger. Excuse me, but your copy, your sister, there have been many like her in the forest for some time. They are what they are. Sadly, not all of us chose the mountain when we could no longer stay in the forest. Some of us chose the knife, I suppose you would call it. The younger ones, they couldn't bear it to retreat, to leave our forest and to simply survive while the forest fell. They would call it cowardice, and perhaps it was. I've had many years to wonder whether they were right. They left to fight, to seek the same kind of vengeance I feared you were looking for. They wanted to kill the copies, believing that each one slain would weaken the false mother. And it does a little, but at the cost of so much more. When the only way to take back what you have lost is through taking life from something else, then there's nothing to be truly won there. I understand. I understand that is a lesson hard to learn when all you have known is loss. I didn't stop them, and I couldn't if I wanted to. You cannot cage grief. You can only outlive it, and they did not want to outlive their grief. They wanted to spend it. The one, you said one of them was able to escape. Describe that for me.
An elf, and yeah, Kasher will describe it. An elf archer. Yeah, I'll describe her as well as Kasher can remember.
Marin.
Marin.
I raised that child. I taught her which berries would feed and which would betray her in the forest. She could track a deer across a bare stone by the age of 6. A natural scout, and I suppose a natural hunter. I presumed her dead by now, or I let myself think of her dead, I suppose, because that was kinder than the truth, that she may still be out there and still bleeding our people's legacy into the mud.
She is like a vine that climbs up a mountain whose roots have been cut. She may look alive, but she doesn't know it, but she's dead.
She's only known loss. She has only known loss throughout her whole time. If you take the grief you carry with you today and wonder where you would be if all you got from here was further loss, further grief. I make no excuses for her actions or the actions of any of the other ones that left us, but I would press on you to judge softly until you have walked their path. They know no better, and perhaps that blame lies with me. The last time we spoke, she returned here 8 years ago. Briefly, we met at the bottom of the cart the same way I met yourselves. And she told me that she wouldn't be coming home, that they would never return here because it wasn't their home. She said that she had come back to tell me. She said that she had to let me know that I was a coward before either of us entered the grave. She was not entirely wrong. I'm sorry for your sister.
She is not deserving of your compassion.
As much as I ask you not to judge her, I also would say you have no understanding of the choices I've made that led us to this place, which is as close to a home as we will have as our people fade. You carry multiple signs of the Great Mother amongst your group. You here seeking her?
Seeking her solace, certainly. But seeking her, yes, we met a priest, pear trees, who told us that she was trapped and that we should help rescue her, I think.
I could not confirm or disagree. I truly don't know. We have not seen the Great Mother or her husk in some time. She used to walk amongst this forest daily. She would visit us and converse with us. At some point we would have switched from talking to the mother to the pretender, and it saddens me, I don't know when that change happened. But it's been some time since we would have seen her. It's been some time since we have seen any of the gods that would have once walked this forest. One of the last times I could comfortably claim I talked to the mother herself. She talked of the gods deciding to retreat further from this plane and to step back. She told us that she was afraid of something, that something was changing in this world. And we could feel that for a time, but something changed there. There was something that scared the gods that no longer stands, but it has not brought them back. I couldn't tell you the number of times over the last 15 years that I have wished to see the Great Mother again. And there are others in similar positions. There is the one that stands vigil every morning on the mountainside. He's not one of ours, and he never speaks. He's been at every morning for at least the past 4 years. Every morning he stands and he kneels in front of the shrines that we have built here to remember the gods. And as the sun rises, he glows with it. And then he smiles, he blesses us, and he leaves. He's looking for something just as we are. I fear all our gods have abandoned us at this point.
This visitor, do they speak to you?
Never. We have offered him sanctuary like we've offered yourself every day. He never takes it. He does not speak. He listens. He spends his time seeking the sanctuary or whatever it is he is looking for. And then the same way he arrives each morning, he flies off into the distance.
Flies.
Yes, he flies.
Feel like I want to meet this guy. Don't know about you guys. He sounds cool.
He's there every morning. I suppose I am not his. I am certainly not the keeper of his diary, but if I were to make a suggestion that he will be there tomorrow morning, as he is every morning, I suspect I would win that wager with you. You are welcome to stay here, by the way. If you need lodgings for the night, or if you just need a home, you are all welcome here. Any that come here with clean hearts are welcome.
That's very kind, and I think we may take you up on that offer. I don't want to speak for my companions, but
Perhaps the best thing we should do would be to introduce you to the Shrine Keeper. She can tell you a little bit about how we do things here, and again, if you don't mind me saying, just make sure you are here with the purest of intentions. We have our people to look out for. And he puts down the tea that you've all been served and been drinking, and he sort of gets up to his feet, and he leads you out and sort of walks back through the town, village, this settlement. And as you're sort of going past, you see this man, this Idgar. He speaks to some of the other sort of townsfolk from time to time and sort of speaks to them. There's a lot of interest in you as you're walking past, and people sort of stop and sort of smile and nod. And as I say, if anything, everyone seems happy to see you. There is no threat. There is no kind of they don't seem scared of you or looking to scare you. They seem to want to welcome you. As you go past, there's a group of sort of mid-teens, 15, 16. These ones, Idgar sort of greets them and nods in their direction. One of them speaks back as he talks, and you don't quite hear the first part of the conversation. But as you sort of catch up as you're sort of walking through, you catch the back end of the conversation, and this teen is kind of essentially sort of pointing at your group and almost not berating the elder, but kind of arguing with the elder, and says, these ones they've been down there, they've seen the forest. Some of us, you've never even given us that opportunity. We are Famir, Idgar, we belong in the forest, and you took us from that. And he turns to your group, this teenager, and he says, what state is the forest in?
I mean, there's a lot of trees. It seems to be growing well.
Kind of fine.
Few
Pretty
wolves,
green.
an owl bear.
And what about them, the shadow elves? How many have you
Yeah,
killed?
they're
How
there.
many? How many have you...
Did
They're
we really see
very
very many-
quick.
We didn't see very many shadow elves in the forest, particularly.
Did we see about 12?
There's more in pear trees per bit of land traversed.
They surround us in the priest area.
Yeah. But well, they're weird ones. They're big ones, aren't they? But I mean, it's like pear trees. Is probably has.
And he speaks up again. There's almost There's almost like an eagerness and excitement in the conversation as he sort of looks to get in face with you, and he says, "Nobody up here even fights. Nobody up here does anything. We just garden and we remember and we wait to die politely." Oh, did I get disconnected?
I think I did as well.
I think I also did.
I think about all of you got disconnected, but from
All right.
possibly me and Cormac.
Okay. I'll repeat myself if the younger one. There's like an eagerness and excitement almost as he's sort of talking to you and trying to get information about the sort of how these shadow elves you killed and what's going on in the forest. And he says to you, he says, "Nobody up here even fights. None of us do anything. We garden and we remember and we wait to die politely. It's and everyone acts like the Fawn Watch, like they were monsters for leaving, but they were the ones with guts to actually fight the things that took our forest. And we're not supposed to say their names anymore."
The Thorn Watch. Is that who Merrin left to join?
Merrin, that's right. We're still allowed to say their names, Idgar. Some of us remember them and honour them. They went to fight for us whilst you decided we should all rot like you. He'll tell you that this mountain is a blessing. But it's no blessing, it's a cage. And he raised half of them. The Fawn Watch that left. He raised at least half of them. Now he won't even say their names. What kind...
Sometimes a gardener must keep saplings away from blight. Keep them protected.
Protected. I've never even seen the forest that he keeps mourning. I've never set foot in that forest. And he tells us that we should miss it. How do I miss something I never had? Something I was never given the choice to defend or to fight for. And the kid sort of shakes his head and walks off. And Idgar turns back to you and he says, "He is angry and he knows not what he's angry for. He might be right that I should let them go down there, but I lost so many already. I can't lose one more." You said that Marin's still alive.
Yeah. She is. He escaped.
Never mind. And he carries on walking and sort of leads you sort of out of the main part of the town now, and sort of heads off to Kasha, where you had seen previously through your sort of your shared senses yesterday. You had seen that sort of shrine to Shanti. Let me find this very quick. That is definitely the right map.
Ooh, that's pretty.
That's sinister in the middle.
I wouldn't worry about it, Shane. It's all fine. Let's instead look at this. You come up. There is a sort of stone shrine to Shanti, and you can see there is a just over away from it. There is a second shrine, which as followers of Shanti you would easily recognise. This is a shrine to Shanti's husband, the Fanda, the god of the sun. And you can see where some of the cliff has fallen away and it no longer is accessible over to that one. But as you near the shrine of Shanti, There's a female, a middle-aged female, sort of knelt down, and she's sort of working at the soil around this sort of area, and without even looking up, she speaks and she says, "Mind the third step on those stairs. That one can't be trusted. But please, come over." And she nods at Idgar and she says, "I'd already heard we had visitors. I suppose you'll be wanting me to assess them, Idgar." And he nods and he turns to you and he says, This is nothing more than a chance to understand that you are here with purest of intentions and mean no harm to us. We have afforded you the luxury of entering our home and our hospitality. All we mean to understand is whether you are affording us the same trust. And she looks at each of you and she says, It's a simple shrine. Sit if you like or don't. The stone is not comfortable and I wouldn't pretend otherwise. And she looks across at the five of you and she goes silent as she looks across. And she sort of looks you all over and she stops as she looks at you, Adsalor. And she says, she sort of focuses in and you see she's almost sort of seeking to look below your hood and look at the sort of what is hidden behind your hood and your sort of the shadows within. And she sees that you sort of look back and sort of pulls back a little and carries on looking over the group of you. And she says, well, one of you's uncomfortable to be here, and that's immediately clear. Which of you is it? And none of you internally seem to know what she means. Darius, your neck becomes itchy and scratches. And she immediately looks at you and she says, "Your friend doesn't like it here."
Yeah, they don't like it in most places, to be honest.
What is it?
Grumpy.
No. Who have you made your deal with? Do you even know?
Yeah. Creature of knowledge.
Fine, you needn't tell me. I don't need to know. But you should ask yourself why it holds its breath in the presence of this shrine. I've kept this shrine as long as we have been up here now, for 15 years. And nothing that means you well has ever gone silent in its presence. You're feeding it, aren't you? You're giving it whatever it wants and it keeps you standing. But that's an arrangement, not a friendship. That's a debt.
You feel like it's a debt both ways.
You're funny. Funny men, in my experience, rarely bargain successfully.
Well, I only need a few things from him. Probably another 6 months, possibly.
And what does he need from you? I imagine you've not even stopped to ask. And she steps a little bit closer to you, Darius, and she leans in close to your patron, as the group have kind of worked out at this point, the wig you wear. And she speaks, not to you, but to your hair and to your wig. And she says, "I hope you feel uncomfortable here. I hope I hope you remain uncomfortable, not just in the presence of the goddess and of her believers, but I hope you remain uncomfortable in the presence of this one you are feeding off of. Things like you don't belong here. And even as this forest darkens, it's no home for your kind. And the whole time through this conversation, your patron makes no sound, it barely makes movement, but the wig and the hairs scratch at your neck uncomfortably, Darius. It's almost as if the hairs almost draw blood from your neck as they push tightly against you. And then she steps back and moves away. And she looks at you again, Dash, and she just says to you, I hope whatever your bargain was has been worthwhile, and I hope when it comes offering you more, you at least decide to make the terms clear. I fear you have no idea what you have got yourself into. But she turns to Idgar and she says, They are goodwill and they have good nature. This one, he is the same, as long as he steps carefully. But they can be trusted. And she very quickly changes the conversation. She says, anyway, you must be here for a reason. Why have you entered into the forest and where are you headed? What is it you look for? And Idgar interrupts her before you can even respond, and he says, Let them keep their business to themselves, Ren. It's not our place. We are welcoming them, we're not questioning them. Instead of asking them what their intentions are, perhaps we could ask something of them. And I do not ask it easily. And I fully understand if your response would be to push me to this cliff edge when I ask. If there is only one more of our children left down there, is there any way you'd be able to bring her home? I know I ask a lot.
I think you ask the impossible.
Perhaps so.
How do you propose we bring home a child who has no want to be home and has no want to be near us?
By seeing that she is lost, by seeing that she is driven by loss and by grief and by that same emptiness that you are carrying with you now. She is a hunter, and she is a scout, and she is also a child that was never allowed to grow and to experience happiness or joy. It was taken from her at such a young age. And perhaps the only way for her to be able to see any way out is to see somebody extend the kind of understanding that I didn't give her.
Asher's been getting more and more uncomfortable during this. At the end of that, she's just going to know and turn on her heel and walk away.
As Kasha walks away, the Ren, the female, the shrine keeper, she calls briefly in Kasha's direction, and she says, "You've buried someone recently, and not in the ground, but in here." She taps her chest as she says it, and she says, "Those are the ones that you keep. And grief is a crop. You can rush it, and you can't skip it. You can only make sure that you plant something after to grow in its place. I hope you find whatever you are looking for."
When she called, Kasha stopped but didn't turn round, and then maybe stands there for another 10 seconds after she finishes talk. Carries on walking.
Idgar, there's a sort of awkward silence, and then Idgar speaks to the rest of the four of you that remain. And he says, it was only a request. You owe us nothing. You are welcome, as I said, for the night, for the week, or for however long you need. And there are no expectations around that. You owe us nothing. If any of you don't want to do this or can't do this, that changes nothing. All we would ask is that while you are here, you are open to us as we are open with you.
Do you feel her presence here?
Shanti.
Yeah.
He turns to Ren and he says, "I'm sorry, sister." And he turns back to you and he says, "I have not felt the Great Mother in longer than I can remember at this point. I don't know if she even survives."
I have faith. I would like to consider your proposal, and if I can reach her, get some guidance, if you don't mind. I think what you're asking is, as Adslor says, next to impossible. But let me consider, please.
Doesn't mean we can't try.
Yeah, and I'll nod to that.
And
What about
Sorry.
you said you hadn't felt the presence of Shanti. What about him? And I point because there was another shrine, wasn't there, to Lathander?
Yeah.
What about his presence?
The Morning Lord hasn't stepped foot in this forest for maybe longer than the True Mother. I don't know. I couldn't tell you. Maybe he went searching for his wife. Maybe he has allied himself with the Pretender. I think truly I'm too scared to even consider. Idgar says, I'm tired. I need to return home, and more tea, I think. You are welcome in the town for as long as you need. You are welcome here for as long as we all have. You are as much a part of this town as you wish to be. He turns to Ren again and he says, again, sister, I'm sorry, but I'm only telling the truth. My truth. He nods and he turns and sort of heads back into the town. Ren speaks up as he walks away, and he says, people ask me if she's dead all the time, and there's nothing wrong with questioning that. But she's not dead, she's being held, and there is a difference, and you can feel it if you stand here long enough. She reaches to us still, like a hand where the fingers can't reach under a door, but they try nonetheless. She still reaches for us.
Halloran, because I've just read the notes from session 16. It says here that Matthias charged Halloran with leading. Oh, that she, Shanti, had called the party to her, and Matthias charged Halloran with leading to find her. Just in case that's.
Yeah, I'm going to take the evening or the day. I know it's the daytime, but like I'm going to have to ponder on this a while, I think.
Absolutely, yeah.
Not just Halloran, Halloran, but also me. Because slightly above table, essentially, I'm wondering.
Oh yeah,
Halloran,
I wasn't looking at the time, but yes, I see where you're going.
Halloran is wondering whether the path to find her would be to do this, but maybe also not. But then if it's not this, obviously, with it being the DM's option, what the other option would be to find her. Maybe it's to continue up the mountain. Maybe it's not. I don't know. But I'm going to try and commune with her over the day as well. And maybe I can get through. Maybe I can't.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, having.
And I'm going to say that in a roundabout way to the others in some quiet time.
Yeah. Having obviously climbed up this mountain and made your way up it and spent some time, I think it's been a day. Is there anything immediately anyone wants to deal with before we've got started? If anyone wants to discuss in character or anything else?
I mean, really, I think for me, it's partly what is the best thing to do for our mission, but also what's the feasibility of actually finding this person. Not just how to think. I mean, say above table. I guess it's possible, given that otherwise, what we're doing if we're just going to go wandering around the forest for the rest of the campaign until we die. But yeah, I don't know if it's I don't know if Halloran thinks it's particularly feasible.
So again, just as some above table stuff again. So I will never force you guys in any direction. You can entirely decide you want to go looking for Marin. You can ignore that entirely. And I have totally already kind of prepared for both potential options, especially knowing that some people would have some strong feelings potentially. The message from Father Matthias to you in terms of dealing with the issue of Shanti and whatever is happening is to head as deep towards the centre of the forest as possible. Essentially, I think he even outright said you need to go to the Shadow Elf city that has been built in the centre of the forest. How you guys feel in terms of time frames on that, etc. Yeah, entirely up to you.
How hikeable, climbable is this mountain?
So it was sheer up, obviously via that elevator, and pretty much sheer down. There are some parts of the mountain that can be seen a bit better, which I accidentally showed you earlier anyway. So this is the opposite side of the mountain from where you came up, and you can kind of see a bit closer from where you are.
Okay. We can get to this side quite easily, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
You would have to go back down again, but yes, from that. But yeah. I mean, and as you guys look onwards deeper into the forest, I mean, you can see no shadow city. This city that's supposed to be built in the middle. If it exists in the heart of the forest, you are at a distance. You cannot even see it from the peak of this mountain.
Okay, so this purple bit in the middle is not a city.
No, no.
Is it purple though?
Oh yeah, it's purple, and it
Okay.
looks very odd, very unnatural. And as we wind up the session, I'll get everyone to make a secret nature check for me.
Yeah.
And yes, Sam, I'm going to chaos it and
Of course you
do the
are.
reroll.
Of course you are.
We do like a nice last-minute secret check. Tell me what species of tree I see.
Yeah. Take that, Sam.
Well, you know, I shouldn't do this sort of thing, but okay, Shane, if we're going to play that game, I'll reveal your card.
No.
And
Aw.
everyone can look at the nat 20 you just re-rolled.
Oh
Yeah,
no.
Wow.
Yeah.
I still got a 26.
Yeah, you did. That's right. You win, Shane. Well done, you mate. Well done. You win.
I did fail the crit roll, but
Yeah, and as you guys stand up here, you all you can see further out into the onwards part of the forest. You've got this request from Idgar about seeking to return this lost member of their tribe who also killed many members of your group, if not by her own hand, by her group's hand. You've also got this request. You've got this request from Matthias to find the city that's been built in the centre of the forest, and you can't even see it from where you are. You can see that odd purple patch deeper in, and each of you have a look. We've got a selection of results, including obviously a 26 from Darius. It could have been higher. And as you look at that, none of you have any idea what that is. It looks like some swampland, you can tell that much, but the ethereal purple glow is unlike anything any of you have ever seen before. And maybe if some of you had critically succeeded on that check, we might have more. But I'm not the sort of person who would like to lord that over any of you. And that's where we'll end that session, and we'll pick it up next week.
oh.
Amazing.
Oh,
Cool. All right. I'll probably send some thoughts in the chat.
Yeah, I mean, yeah,
over
you
the
guys
time,
have definitely got some stuff to
yeah.
talk and decide amongst yourselves. Yeah,
But before I continue, if I was to figure out, I know roughly where we are, right? In that, if I go to the map of the Grove, we are roughly sort of still skirting the edge of the forest.
really, yeah,
We're not,
yeah, you want.
yeah. Does that purple swamp go towards the centre of the forest?
Yes, yeah, that is
Yeah,
basically
yeah.
looking towards the centre of the forest and looking.
So if we were to say plot a course that way through that purple swamp, somehow survive it, and then onto the peak of the mountain ahead of it, that might give us a view of the next stage
Yeah.
of the journey. Potentially, is that?
Yes, yeah, absolutely.
I might be able to make that inference. Yeah, fine, okay. Yeah, I think I'm inclined to just do that, but well, we'll discuss it.
Yeah, but yeah, like I say, just because I've hung a quest there, absolutely, I never expect you guys to do anything other than what you want to do. And I try to always prep with those eventualities in mind. So yeah, please do whatever works for your characters and your group.
In which case,
Yeah.
I'd like to just complete this campaign with nobody getting harmed and everyone happy at the end.
Well, we can call it now.
Yeah, I think we just our characters retire and live in this settlement in the forest for the remainder of time, right?
If I can't reach Shanti, probably not.
Darius will go to the light.
I hate to break to you, Halloran, but Shanti isn't real. Shanti's dead.
TBD.
Yeah. Right, I've got to run, but
Yes,
thank you. That was fun.
Yeah, I also came here in a rush and I haven't eaten yet, so I'm also going to run quick.
Yeah.